Hey, how you doing? Chris Roselli here. Thanks a lot for stopping by my blog and checking out my free video called Helpful, Practical, and Easy to Implement Strategies for Maintaining a Healthy Back. In working with people over the years, I've seen so many back issues, and one commonality between everyone that has them is that their quality of life has gone way down since their back problem has gotten worse. Their activities become limited, they have to be very careful with everything that they do, and they've got this annoying, frustrating little friend called pain that's with them all the time. And that's not a situation that I ever want to see anybody get into if I can do anything about it. Certainly, through a free video series and through, the work that I do, I can't necessarily reverse 50, 60 years of degeneration of your spine, but I can definitely empower you with some information that's going to help you make better decisions about what you do with your body, primarily with your spine, that's going to affect the health of it over the long term. Now, this is going to be the first video of a 7-part series where I'm going to be discussing the most important factors that relate to the health of your spine and the most important strategies to implement to help to maintain and improve the health of your spine. So I'm going to get into what I believe is the most important factor here today, and that is dehydration. Okay, now dehydration is something that a lot of people would not think is associated with the health of our spine, but it truly, truly is. And let me explain to you why. Your spine can develop some issues over time, okay? 2 of those issues that are very, very common are arthritis and disc degeneration, or disc problems, okay? So I'm going to talk about the arthritis thing first, okay? So what is arthritis? Well, arthritis is a condition where the end of one bone meeting the end of another bone has wear, excessive wear to the cartilage that encompasses that end of the bone. So you've heard of people having this bone-on-bone type of situation that has a lot of pain involved. Well, that's what happens. As we move throughout our life, at every joint, whether it be in the spine, the shoulders, the hips, the knees, or wherever, these bones are moving on each other. And when they move on each other, there's friction. Okay? Now, friction, in case you're not familiar with it, is the force that's created by 2 things pushing on each other. So if you push your fingers together like this real hard and you try to move them, it's kind of difficult, right? Because there's friction there. Now, how do you get rid of friction? Well, one easy way is to create lubrication between those 2 surfaces. So if I took some olive oil and I dipped my fingers in it and then I tried to do that again, I could push them together really hard and I could still move them pretty easily because there was lubrication there. And that lubrication reduced the friction, which enhanced the mobility. So where does this become an issue in the spine? Well, you have these joints in your spine called the facet joints. I don't know if you can see them perfectly or not, but they're the parts of the spine where one vertebrae bone meets another vertebrae bone. Okay? And these are the places where there's movement taking place. Okay? So on the ends of those bones is cartilage. And over the cartilage is, hopefully, a lot of synovial fluid, which is your body's lubricant. And synovial fluid is made up primarily of water. Okay? And if there's any amount of dehydration in your body, then the amount of synovial fluid that you have available for those joints is going to be limited. What's that going to create? Well, it's going to go from an olive oily, kind of slippery kind of a movement type of situation to a dry, friction-filled movement type of situation, or lack of movement type of situation. That's why a lot of times people feel stiff, in their back. They try to move in certain directions and it's like kind of stiff. It's not really moving that easily. A lot of times that is a big contributor to that, is this lack of synovial fluid. And that is primarily related to the lack of water in their body, because the water in your body is something that your body has to ration when there's not enough. So what do I mean by that? Well, if there's a water shortage in some city or town, the municipal government may come on the TV and say, don't use any more water than this much. Or they may cut people's water supply off when they use a certain amount, because they're trying to preserve the water. They're trying to give people just enough for their most important tasks, their bathing, their cooking, and those sort of things, so that they can get by. Well, your body has a similar rationing process, and it will ration water and send it to your brain, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, and a couple other organs that are absolutely essential for our survival. But now your joints and your discs, which we'll talk about in a minute, are not essential for our survival. So your body says, okay, well, we got enough water for the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the liver, and the other vital organs. We don't need any water going to these other guys because we can get by without them having that water. And that's a good thing to have going on in the short term because it keeps us alive, but it's a bad thing to have going on for too long because then all those other parts of our body begin to break down because there's not enough water. Now, I talked about the arthritis within the facet joints. So let me talk about another issue, which is disc integrity. Now, the discs are the things that separate the vertebrae, and they create space between them. Now, the canal, as you can see right here, is the place where the nerve comes out. Okay? Now, those nerves go all over our bodies, and they innervate all the different tissues, and they give them electricity. If you lose disc height because of a lack of water, so in other words, if your disc started out like this and now it's like this because it's been chronically dehydrated for many, many years, then these canals can begin to narrow. That is a condition called spinal stenosis. Now, you or someone you know may have that, and you probably know it's a very unpleasant thing to have because you can have chronic pain, you can have muscle spasms, you can have chronic stiffness, you can have all kinds of issues. Now, the reason why these discs shrink when they get dehydrated is because the thing that's inside of them is this little gel-like substance that primarily is made of water. Now, it goes back to the whole rationing thing. If your body doesn't have enough water for all the cells to function appropriately, then it's going to ration that water and it's going to send it to the places that is most necessary to have for survival. So it knows that the disc can go without much water and you can still be alive. But over time, it creates a big, big problem, and nobody should ever put themselves in that situation if they can avoid it. Okay, and that's what I'm going to try to help to empower you to do through this video. So that's a big problem. And then the other thing is that the disc integrity, the strength of the disc can begin to go down, and then it's going to be more susceptible to disc bulging, disc herniation, slipping, all kinds of other issues. And that can be a big, big problem. That can put compression on the spinal cord, on these nerves, on a lot of different tissues, and then you're looking at probably chronic pain for the rest of your life. Okay, so you don't want to ever get to that point. And if you are at that point, you can still take some steps to keep that from getting worse and move it back the other way, little by little. Okay, so how much is enough in terms of the water that we drink? Okay, well, here's a key formula that you're going to want to jot down, and what the main number is your body weight. Okay, now I weigh 190 pounds, so that would be my number. So you take 190 and you divide it by 2. Okay, so for my case that would be 95. 95 for me is the number of ounces of water that I would want to drink each day in order to prevent any amount of dehydration. Okay, so you're going to want to just drink half your body weight in ounces per day. Now, a lot of you may be saying, well, I drink nowhere near that much, and that's way too much, and it's never going to happen. Well, realize that, everything that is good for you is not easy, okay? If it were easy, everybody would do it, and very few people would have back problems, okay? So you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to discipline yourself. You're going to have to write yourself reminders. You're going to have to carry a bottle of water around. You're going to have to program a alarm in your phone or any number of different things to keep yourself on track with the water drinking because this is a big, big, big important factor. Now, some of the things that I've done over the years is I've taken water with me, places that I've gone, or if I haven't drank water in a little while, then I'll just drink a very large amount of water whenever I get the chance to do so. So if I haven't had water for 3-4 hours and I get around a place where I have some good clean water, then I might drink 3, 4, 5 cups of water right then and there because I need to make up for the water that I haven't had throughout the rest of the day. Make sense? So try the best you can to implement some strategy to get the amount of water into your body every day that you need because your spine is going to really, really be happier for you doing that. Now, this isn't the type of thing that you're going to do for 2 weeks and then you're going to all of a sudden notice this massive improvement. But over time, you're going to start to see that the health of your spine the health of other parts of your body, and just the way you feel is going to be better. Okay? And drinking enough water is going to help affect your blood pressure positively. It's going to affect your energy levels positively. It's going to affect your sleep positively. It's going to affect your joint health positively. It's going to help your athletic performance positively. It's going to have a far-reaching effect on a lot of things. And that's why this is such an important factor in overall health, and especially health to our joints and those types of tissues. So hope you found this video helpful. I'm going to be back the next time with another strategy that you can start to implement to improve the health of your spine. Email me with any questions that you have. I'll be happy to take some time and respond to those to help you to help better implement this particular strategy. And any questions that you have about anything, please email those to me. You can send that to nonfictionfitness@hotmail.com. Okay, so thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great day, and drink and be merry. God bless.